I woke up to a drip. At first, I thought it was my leaky kitchen faucet again. That's a sound I know well, tiny splashes echoing through a silent apartment. But when I opened my eyes, I wasn't in my apartment. I was lying on a wooden floor I didn't recognize. The boards were cold and damp, and the air smelled like an old basement. My head throbbed as if I'd been drinking, though I haven't touched alcohol in years. Drip, drip, drip. There was a single door ahead of me, cracked open. No windows. No furniture. Just the sound. I called out, "Hello? Anyone here?" But my voice felt swallowed by the room. I got to my feet and pushed the door wider. The hallway beyond was narrow and crooked, lined with peeling wallpaper. I started walking, figuring I'd run into stairs, maybe a lobby. Instead, I found another room. Same size. Same cracked floor. Another door leading onward. I tried going back, but the door I'd just come through opened onto a different hallway. I checked my pockets. No phone, no keys, nothing. Every corridor smelled faintly of damp metal. The dripping never stopped. Sometimes it was far away, sometimes so close I could swear it was inside my own skull. After what felt like an hour, I saw her. At the end of a long hallway, barely visible in the dim light, stood a girl. She wore a simple white dress that hung like it was soaked. Her hair was dark and heavy. I called to her, relief flooding me that someone else was here, but she didn't move. And when I stepped closer, the hallway stretched. I took 5 steps. She stayed the same distance away. That's when the memories began to trickle in. I'd been driving late the night before. Rain hammered the windshield, the wipers barely keeping up. I remember an argument with my sister earlier that evening. I'd stormed out, angrier than I should have been. I hadn't checked my phone. There was a flash of headlights, the squeal of brakes, a sudden jolt that knocked the breath from me. Drip, drip. The sound made sense then. It wasn't water. It was blood. Mine, maybe hers. I shouted down the hallway. "I'm sorry. Please." The girl tilted her head slightly, though her face was smooth skin, no eyes, no mouth. She raised one hand and pointed behind me. When I turned, there was a door I hadn't seen before. Dark wood, wet to the touch. I hesitated, then reached for the handle. The door opened onto a quiet stretch of highway lit by the strobing red of ambulance lights. My own car was there, twisted metal against a guardrail. A paramedic crouched beside a figure on a stretcher, my figure. I stood in the rain, but it didn't feel cold. My hands were fading at the edges, the color draining like mist. The girl appeared beside me, still faceless. For the first time, she stepped close enough that I could feel the air shift. She rested a hand on my shoulder, light as falling ash. The drip stopped. I understood then. The house wasn't a house at all. It was a place between, something holding me until I could face what I'd done. The endless halls were my denial. The girl was the one I'd hit, the person whose life I'd entangled with mine in that single reckless moment. I looked once more at my body on the stretcher, then back to her. "I'm ready," I said. She nodded. At least, I felt the nod, and the highway faded. The halls, the dripping, the endless chase dissolved into quiet. That's where the memory ends. I don't know if what came after counts as heaven, or if it's just nothing. But I do know this. The sound of dripping water still makes me stop and listen, every time, as if the house might call me back.